5 free tools every ethical hacker needs in 2026. So in this video, I break down the 5 essential tools used by real penetration testers and ethical hackers, and the best part, they're all completely free. The first tool that I'm going to demonstrate is this operating system, the Kali Linux. So this is a great operating system for pen testers and all of the ethical hackers. Usually use this operating system as the starting point to learn a lot of tools and a lot of techniques and a lot of things. So you can do a plenty of things with this operating system. Unlike Windows that we most commonly use, this operating system we will use the terminal itself. So in terms of Windows, we will move through the files. If you want to open a file, if you want to move to a directory, we will basically move using this graphical user interface. So in Linux, you are inside the terminal, so you have to know the terminal commands. You have to know a lot of things about the terminal. For listing the files, you'll be using ls. For moving to the directories, you will be using the cd command. For knowing your current location, you will be using pwd, and a lot of other commands that is here in the Linux that you should definitely need to know. So in Linux, you can do a lot of things. Like you can also go and open the text editor. In Windows you have the notepad, but in this case you have the mouse pad. This is like notepad. You can just save your notes and a lot of things from here. Other than that, you also have the Firefox browser. In Windows you usually use the Chrome browser, but in this case you have the Firefox browser in this Linux operating system. And other than that, you also have a plenty of tools installed here. So you can see the reconnaissance, which is the first phase of ethical hacking. You have various tools, a wide variety of tools here, like the Burp suite, the Buster, and a lot of tools installed by default in the operating system, which can be used for a wide variety of purposes. And for the resource development, you have tools like these. And for the initial access into a system, you have tools like the Metasploit Framework, SQL Map, Gofish, DNS Rebind. And for execution, you have again Metasploit Framework, which is powerful framework tool, and the Powersploit. And for persistence, you have the seclist, word list, and the web shells, Weebly. In the seclist, this is again something important. This is basically the word list for various purposes. For example, you have the word list for passwords. You can just move to the passwords, and inside that you have a plenty of passwords embedded into various files here. So for the default credentials, you can see, if you want to know about that, you can just move to that particular directory and you have a plenty of default credentials used somewhere in the internet. So you have default passwords.txt here, so you can just get that out to view that particular file, and this contains a lot of default password used by most peoples. So like that, you have a lot of things available in the Kali Linux operating system, and I have a dedicated video of how you can use this Kali Linux operating system, what are the things that you can do with this Kali Linux operating system, and a lot more other things that you have to learn about Kali Linux operating system as a beginner. So you can just watch that video and you will have an understanding of what Kali Linux is, what are the things that we can do, and a lot of other things. You can just search our channel and open our channel, and inside our channel you have the option to learn ethical hacking from zero to hero from the playlist itself. If you only want Kali Linux, then I will attach that in this video, or if you want that, here is our playlist. So learn ethical hacking from zero to hero. So if you want to learn about a specific tool, for example Kali Linux, you can just search for Kali Linux. So this is the video I'm talking for, the Kali Linux tutorial. So yeah, let me show you. Here it is, the Kali Linux tutorial for beginners to intermediate. So this is the part 1 guide that I'm going to give it to you. So must watch video. So other than that, we will be using wide variety of other tools in Kali Linux. For example, now the second part, we are going to use the Nmap tool, which is a network mapper tool. So in this tool, we'll be using using this tool for finding the open ports on the target. For example, if you have a target IP address, if you have a target URL or whatever you have, you will be scanning that target URL, interacting with the target URL, and getting information from the target URL. In this, I'll be using the -sv in the Nmap, and I was able to get the version related information of our target. So in this case, the target is running on the VSFTP 2.3.4 version, and the service in this case is FTP, and a lot of other open ports on the target here. So and its version and its service and its port numbers are demonstrated here using the version scanning in Nmap. Other than that, we also have the script scanning, which will reveal some more information, like it will perform scripts in this. So you can see from here, this has the FTP, and FTP is allowed to use anonymous FTP login, which pretty much means that you can just log in using FTP using the anonymous as the password and credentials, which you can identify using the script scanning in Nmap. And Nmap is a widely used tool and an unavoidable tool in the Linux operating system. So yeah, you have to know in depth of this tool, how you can use this tool, what are the things that you need to know about the Nmap tool, and plenty of other things about this tool. So how we can know? Yes, we have a playlist for that I don't showed you before. And other than that, we also have dedicated video about Nmap. We have 2 videos about Nmap which will teach you about the Nmap, like from the basics to the advanced. So first you have to watch the basics Nmap video, which will be available when you search our channel for Nmap. You have to watch the first basic video. This is the Nmap tool in Kali Linux, and you're also going to learn the graphical user interface tool of Nmap called the Nmap tool, and you are also going to learn the advanced Nmap scanning techniques. So this is something that I'm recommending you to watch. This is some must-watch videos on our channel. So you can see, as I mentioned before, these are some of the open ports and the scripts results of the Nmap, and which also supports anonymous login, which we'll be able to identify using the script scanning. So which pretty much means that you can just log into this using the credentials and as anonymous. So once I enter anonymous, now I am able to access without a password. The username that I specified is anonymous. I was able to list the directories inside FTP. Unfortunately, there is nothing in this file, but still I'm able to log in using FTP using this technique. So like that, you can do plenty of other things and a lot of things using this Nmap tool. Nmap also supports vulnerability scanning using the script. So Nmap, you can just use the -- script and the 1, which will reveal the vulnerabilities in this. So Nmap, this is the vulnerability script in Nmap. You can just use this to get some vulnerability information about our target IP address that we've given here. So this will give you a lot of information about our target, which are the services are vulnerable, what are the things that you need to investigate, and a lot of other things. Other than that, you can also view the manual of a tool by entering man space the tool name, which will show you the manual of tool. And this is the manual of the Nmap tool, which is a network exploration tool and security of port scanner, and this has a lot of descriptions that you might interested to read, and you do have a lot of things that I don't think that you are interested to read all those things. Instead, you can just watch our video to have a better understanding of how you can use these tools and a lot of things that you can do with it. So other than that, we also have a little bit of help menu available by entering the tool name space -- help, which will reveal the help menu of those tools that you would like to get information. So here you have some little things that is kind of an understandable as an ethical hacker, but if you are a starter or beginner, you might not understand what is demonstrated here. So you have to watch and understand the concepts that I showed you before. You have to watch this video first, then go here, and you will be able to learn that. You also have the Nmap tool, which is something that you should explore from that particular video. So other than that, we have the another tool that I'm going to demonstrate is the Burp Suite Community Edition. So here is our Burp Suite tool. We can do a lot of things with this tool. So Burp Suite tool, we can just do interception and a lot of other things. For example, here I'm just going to use the Vuln Web. And in the Vuln Web, what I'm going to do is, let me put the history. So here I visited the Vuln Web before, so here it is. So here in the login form, I'm going to intercept these. So for example, I'm just entering some credentials here, like, and I'm just going to using the Foxy proxy extension and using the Burp Suite to intercept that request. So what happens here is, when I click login, this request will goes from the client to the server, and which will get intercepted in between that. So you can say the request here, the usernames that we entered, and the password that is entered, what request is going to the server, and all those things you can intercept using the Burp Suite tool. For example, we are the client. In this case, we are the client, which is the browser Firefox that we are using, right? So what happens here is, the request, when you click login, the request will go directly to the server. right? So and you will get the response back, but in this case our tool Burp suit intercepted the request. It's kind of a man in the middle, right? So we are sending a request using the Firefox browser to the server, but in between that our request get intercepted using the man in the middle tool, like we are using the Burp suit tool. So here you can see this is still loading and the response was not delivered here because this request get intercepted using the Burp suit tool. Once I click here forward, then only you will get the response here, right? Now the the loading was gone and you can see the invalid login option. So like that you can just intercept and do a lot of things. For example, I'm just sending this here and this website is actually vulnerable to SQL injection, so I can change these things like into queries like SQLi, like single quote or 1 equal to 1 hyphen hyphen. So this is the query that I'm going to give it here for the username and password field. So let's see what will happen when you forward the request. So in this case you can see we have an internal server error thrown out. So let's intercept it again and do these things. For example, here it is. So we can just enter single quote or 1 equal to 1 hash, I think, for exploiting this vulnerability, forwarding that. Now again we get a server error response. So you may find if you have the username and password, then we can just pretty much log in. So for example, I will show you that. So once you move here, like let me turn off the interception so that we can just browse here. So once you click here for the login, if you have the credentials, if it is admin as the username and the password, I don't know. So let's send this out and let's intercept. And I think if the username and password, like in this case if it is admin as the username and password as the password, then we were able to modify and send it from here to see if it is legit or not. Like that you can just use the Burp suit tool. So for that, for example, we can also have the repeater tab in the Burp suit, which helps a lot. So by sending this into the repeater, you have the option to view the response code from here and the render information, like how it looks like in real web using the Burp suit tool. So you can just edit and send this code a lot of times using the repeater tab in Burp suit. How you can use this Burp suit tool and a lot of other information will be available in our channel itself. So you can just watch a video about the Burp suit and you will have an understanding from here. So you can just watch the Burp suit video on our channel itself. So you will have a broad understanding of how you can use and a lot of other things about the tool from our video itself. So you can just move here and search for Burp suit so that you will be able to understand that. Once you enable the Foxy proxy and all those things, you won't be able to browse normally into your browser. So that is something that you should keep in mind. Other than that, we also have the Metasploit tool, which is a great tool. So for example, in the Nmap results that we found previously, this is the vulnerability scanning in Nmap that I mentioned before you. So here you can see there's a lot of things. So this Nmap scan result revealed a lot of vulnerabilities and other information about our target. So here you can see this is the -- script one, which will reveal a lot of information. You can see this FTP is vulnerable and this has this backdoor and a lot of other information is shown here. So you can just see this is vulnerable. So yeah, let's search this in the Metasploit. So this is our Metasploit tool, the Metasploit Framework console. You can just enter the banner command for changing various banners of Metasploit. This is so cool to look. Other than that, we can just use this tool for exploiting this vulnerability and gain access into the system by using this and by setting the required options, in this case the R host. So if you want to know what are the things that you need to set and how you can use this tool, we have a dedicated video representing how you can use this Metasploit tool and all those things, so which you will be also able to find from our tool itself. So for example, let me set the L host, which is our IP, which is our Ethernet 0, and run that out. So we have a dedicated video representing various tools that I demonstrate in this video, how we can use this tool. If you want to if you want to get an advanced knowledge of how we can use this tool and all those things, you have to watch that. So here in this case, we get an error, unable to connect. Cooldown. So yeah, let's see the options. What are the things that we need to set, and a lot of other options will be here. you can see this is our host, which is our target host or target IP to get hacked for, and the target port in which the FTP is running for, and some other options are available here. If you set all those things correctly, then you will be able to gain access into the system and view files, and you can do a plenty of things with it. In this case, you can see a meter session was open. When I view the sessions, I can see there's a session open. So now I'm interacting with the system. Now I'm just moving to the home directory. Now I'm just inside the user home directory msf admin. Inside that we have these much of files. The dot in Linux is basically means that this is hidden file. Other than that, we also have a we only have a one file called the vulnerable. In this case, this is the mission that we get hacked to. So yeah, in this case, let me log in this using this mission using the default credentials msf admin. So once I log in, when I list that, I have the vulnerable. So now when I make a directory called hack, so you can see when I list that, now we can see this was written there. Let's see if it is written in the target system, and now you can see you are able to gain access and create folders into the target system. So Metasploit is a cool tool that you should definitely need to learn if you are an ethical hacker. So the dedicated video of how you can use this tool will be demonstrated in the video itself. You can just search for the Metasploit here, and you will have the explanation of how you can use this tool and a lot of other things about this tool available in our channel. Other than that, we are going to use the Wireshark tool, which is a network packet analyzer tool which has a lot of capabilities. I can't tell all the capabilities right now, but you can watch our dedicated video. So you can see from here, this is basically the telnet protocol. So this has some telnet captured protocol. So telnet is vulnerable, so you can just search for telnet here, and you will be able to get a lot of information about the telnet. So once you right click and follow and move to the TCP stream, you will be able to find the password that they used to gain access using this telnet protocol. Here you can see the username also is msf admin, which will be written double like double M, double S, double F. Actually it's single M or single S, single F. It's all single, but in this case she's shown as double, so that is something to keep in mind. Other than that, we also have the password available for the target. So like that, you can just use the Wireshark tool for a wide variety of purposes. How you can use this tool and a lot of other things will be demonstrated in our official video. So you can see the password of, and something is written here, right? So yeah, there is something is written here like the passwords of image is ADGJL. Like that, you will be able to get a lot of information using the Wireshark tool. So this is a cool tool. This is something that you should definitely need to know. So you can just search for the various tools that you learned from this video from here. If you're interested on any other tool that you learn from here, you can just search that, and you will have a dedicated video of how you can just use that tool and a lot of other things demonstrated in our official videos available. You can also watch this Learn Ethical Hacking from Zero to Hero playlist for more understanding of various tools. I hope this video is informative for you. This video will give you the overview of various tools. Like in this video, we covered 5 tools that will definitely gonna help you. So that's it guys. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.